Hi everyone, it's Tatenda. Okay, so we're on to lesson 4 of Moses today. We're just gonna do a quick recap of what we've learned so far. So in lesson 1, we had a look at what it was like living in Egypt at the time when Moses was born. So all the baby boys who were Israelites had to be killed and thrown into the river because there were more Israelites than Egyptians, and the king was just not very happy about it. So he wanted the Egyptian king, the Pharaoh. So he wanted to kill all the baby boys that were Israelites, so there could be no more, so that there would not be the next generation of Israelites, and then there'd be less Israelites and more Egyptians, essentially. So in lesson 2, we looked at Moses as a little boy, well, as a baby. So he was born to 2 Israelite parents, so he's an Israelite as well. And then his mother hid him by the river Nile, and his sister was watching over him to make sure nothing bad happened to him. And then the Pharaoh's daughter, which was the Egyptian princess, came over and found the baby boy. So in lesson 3, what's what happened after that. So the sister asked the sister asked the Pharaoh's daughter if she should find somebody to be the baby's nanny, the baby's nurse. And then she went to go and get her mum, and her mum looked after the baby and took care of him until he was old enough to be given back to the princess, and the princess adopted him and named him Moses. So that brings us to today, where we do a bit of a time jump to where Moses is all grown up now. So in the first box, so I'm just going to be reading kind of from the Bible. So this is Exodus 2 verse 11. So many years later, when Moses had grown up, he went out to visit his own people, the Israelites, and he saw how hard they were forced to work. Okay, so Moses is an Israelite, but because he was born in the palace, he was raised with the Egyptians. He didn't really get to see the other Israelites because they were all slaves, and he was essentially a prince, being raised by the princess of Egypt. So he went on a little adventure and went to go and visit some Israelites, and they were working really, really hard, and Moses didn't like it. And during his visit, he saw an Egyptian beating one of his fellow Israelites. So Moses is watching. Moses is watching over here in the corner as the Egyptian beats up the Israelite over here. So Moses is not liking this. So after these are both verse 11, by the way. Box 1 and 2 are both verse 11. So in verse 12, Exodus 2 verse 12, after looking in all directions to make sure no one was watching, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid the body in the sand. So I've drawn Moses as really angry, as you can see, and the Egyptian, he killed him. So Moses was he spent all his time being brought up in a palace. He knew that he wasn't Egyptian and that he was an Israelite, but all the other Israelites were slaves. And when he went to visit them, he sees one of his fellow Egyptians, well, adopted fellow Egyptians, beating up his people, the Israelites. And so he was really, really angry, and he killed him, which is obviously very bad. But yeah, he was overcome by so much anger at the injustice and unfairness of it all that Moses just killed him and hid him in the sand. So on to the second row now. So in verse 13, the next day, when Moses went out to visit his people again, he saw 2 Israelite men fighting. Why are you beating up your friend? Moses said to the one who had started the fight. So he's gone out on another visit, and this time, his people, the Israelites, are fighting each other. So on the first day, it was an Egyptian beating up an Israelite, and Moses got very angry and killed the Egyptian. But in this one, it's 2 Israelites fighting each other. They're fighting between themselves, not against Egyptians. Tells verse 13. Verse 14, the man replied, "Who made you our ruler and our judge? Are you going to kill me like you killed that Egyptian yesterday?" So, obviously, Moses got very scared at this. So then Moses was afraid, thinking, everyone knows what I did. Okay, because they've just called him out, haven't they? They've said, well, what are you going to do about it? He's like, why are you fighting? And they were like, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to kill me like you killed the Egyptian? Which is obviously also not great. But, yeah, Moses got very scared because clearly a lot of people have been gossiping about him and talking about him, about how the Pharaoh's grandson is killing Egyptians, which you'd think would make the Pharaoh very angry. And lo and behold, in verse 15, and sure enough, Pharaoh heard what had happened, and he tried to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in the land of Midian. So Moses is very scared for his life. Pharaoh's tried to kill him. Pharaoh's put a hit on him, and so Moses has run away. He's left Israel. Okay, that's Israel. I will label this what he's leaving behind. I'm going to zoom in. It's too... Can't write that small. Okay. So Moses is... It's not Israel, is it? It's Egypt. Oh dear, you know what? We'll just leave out. Okay, it's Egypt. Yeah? Okay. And there we have it. That is the end of Moses' current time in Egypt. He now is in Midian. So next week we'll have a look at what Moses did when he got to Midian. Okay? I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!